Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Huncho, back at you again with another video. And I gotta give a shout out to one of my Instagram followers for actually bringing this to my attention, because without them I didn't even know this hearing actually took place. And if you was paying attention to my Instagram last night, then you'll know exactly what I'm on about. And if you don't know what I'm on about, it looks as if there's been an update in regards to this whole Lowski situation. I will leave all the coverage of Lowski's situation linked down in the description for you guys who haven't seen it. But to sum up, in April of 2019, Lowski had been arrested, and a short while later he was seen on Snapchat in jail. But for months people didn't know the reason why he was locked up. Then towards the end of last year, unconfirmed details had started to do the rounds, and initially it was thought that Lowski was on trial for distributing firearms to other Harlem Spartans members. And then in January of this year, that would be 2020, it became clear from official reports that Lowski was going on trial after he was caught with a loaded gun, and the prosecution's case was that he was going to use this gun on rival gang members. So a brief summary of what was said in court is that basically the prosecution put forward a case where allegedly Lowski took a 4mm caliber Florent revolver wrapped in a black sock in an Uber with him on April the 9th, 2019. Eventually though, the police would pull over this Uber in West London because he was wanted for questioning about the killing of Latwan Griffiths, aka SA. Of course, when they stopped him though, he was caught with a firearm. He was arrested on some pretty big charges that would have been possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, possession of a firearm while prohibited, and possession of ammunition. Of course, he went on to be charged with these, but would go on to deny them, hence why he was on trial. In regards to the questioning about SA though, it isn't clear as to the reason why they wanted to pull him in for questioning, but he replied with no comment throughout. In court, it was also heard that the prosecution believed that the gun was going to be used on rival gang members because the prosecution were aware of the Harlem Spartans and 410-150 beef. Lowski would also give evidence in court and would go on to explain a story to the jury that he was forced to carry the gun by a man who he had previously bought cannabis off. And apparently this person who had dealt him cannabis had shoved the gun in Lowski's face and made threats against him and his mother if he didn't carry the firearm. As the trial was progressing though, the prosecution then fell ill and a retrial was granted, with a lot of people speculating that maybe it looked as if Lowski was beating the case and the prosecution decided to pull a move like this, and again this was just people's speculation. Again, if you want to see the trial coverage in detail, be sure to check the relevant videos that will be linked down in the description. So of course Lowski was granted bail, and then he's recently been on a run releasing a decent catalogue of music with quite a few hits in my opinion. The retrial was supposed to go ahead in October, but because of the coronavirus pandemic hit, a lot of cases have been pushed back, and seeing as we're now in November and Lowski is still out, that only means one thing: it does seem as if the case has been moved back. But the most recent news isn't a retrial hearing, it's actually whether Lowski should still be granted bail. According to the Law Pages website, which covers court hearings, recently on the 9th of November 2020, a hearing was held at Croydon Crown Court where Lowski's trial was, and in this hearing it says for application to rescind grant of bail, in other words meaning that a hearing had went ahead to see whether the court should revoke the bail that was previously granted. I'm unsure as to why they'd do this. Maybe it's because the trial date is not for another year or so, because if you didn't know, Scraps' trial was recently moved until 2022, so it could still be the same thing for Lowski, and that's why they're thinking about revoking it. It doesn't really make sense to me though, because from what we've seen in the public eye, it seems as if he's been keeping out of trouble, unless there's something going on behind the scenes we don't know about. As it stands right now though, I'm unsure as to what's exactly going on with this hearing, because Lowski is still active on social media, so we don't know if he's been granted this bail extension or not. But I wouldn't have thought a bail hearing would need more than one day, but I could be wrong. I'm hoping that Lowski can stay out until his trial though, because originally it's not even his fault anyway, it's because the prosecution fell ill, and secondly, I just want more music from him, I can't lie. If you guys didn't know, by the way, on the 20th of November, Lowski will be dropping his new album, so you should definitely go and check for that one. He's recently gone on to release the album features, and I'm not gonna lie, he smashed it again with the features, and in my opinion, I think that this time around is going to be better than Call Me Loose. I know that's a bit of a controversial one because Call Me Loose is goated at this point, but yeah, features wise on this new one, he's got Blanco, Bando K, Double L's, Stormzy, Fredo, Popcorn. He's got one on there with Mike Skinner, which I was actually quite surprised about, Mizzo Mac, H, Emily Sande, and Davido. So once again, a strong lineup of features, and by the sounds of it, it's a mainly draw album, which I'm gassed about because recently we've been hearing that old Lowski, and to literally back that up, we're getting a Teddy Brookshot 2. Yes, a Teddy Brookshot 2. So let's hope it lives up to the first one, because honestly, Hazard's 2 just wasn't the one for me, but Hazard's is always going to be hard to compete with. But again, from the snippets that I've heard, it's sounding cold. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section below. Give the video a little like, and if you want the latest drill, street and music news out of the UK, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your boy Huncho, and I'm out.